All right, something pretty big is happening in the UAE's financial markets right now. And if you're an investor, you're definitely going to want to pay attention to this. We're talking about one of the country's telecom giants, DO, opening up its doors with a new public share offer. So let's break it all down.
So let me just ask you, have you ever looked at a company like Do, a huge part of the UAE's infrastructure, and kind of kicked yourself for missing the boat on investing? It's a common feeling for sure, especially with these big established companies. Oh, guess what? That feeling might be about to change. A really rare opportunity has just popped up, and a lot of people are calling it a second chance to own a piece of this telecom powerhouse.
So, what is this offer exactly? Let's get right into it and demystify the whole thing. We're going to look at how the deal is structured, who's involved, and, what it all means for you as a potential investor. Okay, first things first, and this is super important to get right. This is what's called a secondary public offering. Now, what does that actually mean? It means Deuce itself isn't creating brand new shares to raise money. Instead, you've got a big existing shareholder who's decided to sell a chunk of their shares to the public. It's a really key difference, right? It's not about the company raising cash, it's all about ownership changing hands.
So who exactly is selling? Well, it's a major stakeholder called Mahmura Diversified Global Holding. And they're not just selling a handful of shares either. We're talking over 342 million of them. That works out to almost 7.5% of the entire company. That is a massive slice of a top-tier UAE telecom operator.
And here's how those shares are being split up. You can see the offer is divided into two main parts, or tranches. A whopping 95% is set aside for the big guys, the professional, institutional investors. But that other 5%? That's the piece that's available for retail investors, folks like you and me. Now, obviously, before you even think about investing, you've got to understand the company, right? So let's take a quick look inside Do and see how they've been doing lately. What's really cool about this is the story it tells. It's a story of consistent, solid growth. You can see a clear upward trend in both revenue and, even more impressively, in profit over the last few years. This shows you it's a mature company that's still figuring out ways to grow, and grow substantially. Let's put some solid numbers on that growth. Looking at their last full year, revenue climbed to an incredible 14.6 billion dirhams. But look at the net profit. It jumped by a massive 49.1% year over year to 2.5 billion dirhams. I mean, for a company this big, that kind of profit growth is just phenomenal. And their position in the market is just as strong. We're talking about a company with over 9 million mobile subscribers. And their network? It provides 99% 5G coverage to the population. So yeah, they're not just playing the game, they're one of the leaders. Okay, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. These are the details you absolutely have to know if you're thinking about getting in on this. Let's talk about the price, the timeline, and how the whole process works. So, the price. The shares are being offered in a range between 9 and 9.90 dirhams per share. Now, the final price will be set after the big institutional investors put in their bids, but this gives you a really clear ballpark of what it's going to cost. All right, get your calendars out because these dates are crucial. The whole thing kicks off on September 8th. But listen, the window to apply is super short. It closes just a few days later on September 12th. Then, on the 15th, they'll announce the final price and how many shares everyone gets. And literally the very next day, September 16th, these shares start trading on the DFM. So yeah, you've got to move fast on this one. So how do you actually do it? How do you get involved? This last part is a simple, practical guide just for retail investors. One of the best things here is how accessible it is. You don't need to be a millionaire to get in on this. The minimum investment is just 5,000 dirhams. And if you want to put in more, you can do it in increments of 1,000 dirhams. The process is pretty straightforward. First, you need what's called a National Investor Number, or NIN, from the DFM. If you've invested in the UAE before, you've already got one. Second, you just have to pick how you want to apply. Through your bank, an app, we'll cover that next. And third, and this is the big one, make sure you get that application in before the deadline on September 12th. And you've got a ton of options for where to apply. You can go straight through the DFM's own apps, or you can use the online and mobile banking platforms of pretty much all the major UAE banks, Emirates MBD, ADCB, FAB, you name it. The whole thing is designed to be digital and super convenient. So it all comes down to this one question. This isn't just about buying another stock. It's a chance to invest in a piece of the UAE's core infrastructure, a company that connects millions of us every single day.
So is that the right move for your portfolio? That's really the question this whole offer puts on the table for you.